I have come across multiple times conversations on real estate agent boards about private remarks in the MLS in regards to commissions. So one was full commission will be paid if sold at asking price only. If sold less, commission will be at 2%. And then I found another one that said, this one annoyed me. It said, is it worth offering a higher co-payout for a limited time if a property I'm listing is overpriced and below average condition? Normal co-payout around here is about 2.5%. The seller won't budge on the price after I showed comps and details. So I'm going to offer 3% if sold by a certain date. I need bragging rights for having the first listing on my team for 2023. So I get it from a seller's standpoint, right? You want to sell your home fast and for as much money. The problem I have with this stuff, and it's not just these two examples, there's like incentives that Opendoor gives agents. If you sell them, if you have your client give them so many homes, right? Every, I think 5 homes, you get an extra $5,000. Incentives that should be disclosed to you, but they're in the private remarks, or they're in somewhere where I can't see it as a buyer. And, I think that that is unfair for consumers. And so to help me understand this, I brought back the original co-hoster. I feel like I need to play that Reunited song because I never get to talk to you anymore. But I know you've sent me some, I know you have seen these before. So I wanted to get your thoughts on this. Like, how, as a buyer, do you know if this is happening? Is it fair? And what do you do?
You have to know to ask. It's better. I will have to say it's better than it has been in years past. But I still see it in the private remarks. I still get emails from agents that have a listing that's maybe not selling, saying that we'll offer you 4% if you bring a buyer. I see it with new builds offering incentives, and for your second, your third home with that builder, you're going to get paid more, or maybe they have a $10,000 incentive. And you just, as a buyer, you just have to know the questions to ask. It's a little bit of a kind of a two-edged sword. I think we were talking about this earlier. I think this is one of the things that people like Michael and Bill Wendell talk about, who are disruptors in the real estate industry. But, the problem is you've got a seller selling a house. They're offering compensation to whoever brings the buyer. And so of course they want to, if they've listed their house at 500,000, they're willing to pay a 3% or $15,000 fee to the buyer bringing the buyer's agent. But of course they don't want to pay the buyer's agent to bring a $450,000 offer. So from that standpoint, I can understand a seller going, yeah, it's 3% if you bring a buyer paying 500,000, and maybe it's 2% if it's bringing. But as the buyer needs to be aware of that, and not pay 500,000 if the house isn't worth 500,000.